Читай санскрит. Бхакти Парашута.
Шри Бхагаван Увача Варам Вринитхам Мадрамбу Юнам Янрипанандана Саухар Дена Притхак Гармас Туштохам Саухридинамага.
Пословный.
Шри Бхагаван Увача.
Шри Бхагаван Увача.
Господь, Верховная Личность Бога сказал.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, benediction, ask good fortune of you, you, from me, O sons of the King, by friendship, non-different, occupation, pleased, I, by friendship of you. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear sons of King, I am very much pleased by your friendship among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me." So there is a description of realization of the wishes, the reasons for it. Every living entity is dependent on its dreams, the realizations of the dreams. But one living being is not. Eko Bahunam. One living being is making all the dreams of others come true. According to our nature, we are hoping for someone to make our dreams come true. We hope there will be some luck coming from someone. If there is no one to make our dreams come true, we expect for some situations. And we are always in search, hopelessly in search, because in this material world, people don't know how to get what they want. Because of this motive in this Sohridam, the heart. Hrida means heart. The reason should be inside of a person. And here we have the description of the situation. We should be friendly, in friendly attitude to everyone, should be kind to everyone. This is the main reason, and that's why the Lakshmis are given this fulfillment of the desires, and the Lord is sending His benedictions. For Madhyama, that was Uttama description, and for Madhyama Adhikar, we have the description of his attitude here. And the Lord is ready to give His benediction. And friendship in Sanskrit means Sauhardena. And in mundane world, the friendship based on the material gain, Chanakya Pandit said that you should never tell everything to your friends and close ones, because they have false ego, and their attitude can be changed. And if you are enemies, after all, they will know everything about you. That's a typical stories in politics. That includes friendship and sincerity, and then when things are changed, they become enemies. When you know your enemy less, you're less afraid of him. Where do they come from, these enemies? If you're a king or you have a family and relatives, how to make your children to remain your friends? When you are giving some kind things, pushing them for it. When you're president of the temple, the manager, or the king, doesn't matter. If you push your good ideas forward, the Lord will not be satisfied with that. And the ones that follow you will not support you in that, and they will not be happy. So the reason for this friendship was that in this verse that they were going through austerities together. In some other place, it is, well, here it's more like a brief information we're getting, but in some Puranas and other places, we get to know more about it. And austerities were really complicated. Really, it was a hard thing to do. And they were underwater for a long time. That was a hard thing to do. Prabhupada was remembering that in the days when he was still a child, his father was serving all the sadhus. Even some of the sadhus were receiving marijuana from him on the holidays, because he was like understanding what the hardships they were going through. Big austerities. In the age of Kali, these austerities are not prescribed to be followed. So those prachetas, they were sitting on the water, and it was a complicated task. We cannot do it even for half an hour. And they were going to sit there for a while and had some interaction, making pauses. And many times during this austerity, there was not a single time they blamed each other. Our austerity is a devotional service, and we get tired, of course, and sometimes we're nervous and we blame each other in some faults and mistakes. And we don't know how not to blame someone. We don't know. What do you expect? This is, if something's wrong, this is Kali Yuga. If something's wrong, then we have the argument. The Vaishnavas say you need to preach, not preach and teach, not to argue. But if you're in the mood of argument, you're either a friend or enemy. If your material nature is working like this, we get into this relationship with this understanding. He might be my friend or my enemy. There is no third option. We need to understand there are no friends, no enemies whatsoever. There is no such terms. It's all a mind platform. We can have kind relationship with everyone, heart-loving relationship with everyone. That's why we have this spiritual intellect, spiritual intelligence. We can see the soul in everyone. Every living entity has a soul. Someone might say enemies has no soul. have no soul.
Нам нужно помнить об этом.
Well,
Как же увидеть эту душу?
At least
За его
people have, right?
характером, за его качествами, которые могут со мной несовместимы быть совершенно с моими качествами природы.
So they might have different character,
И в каждом человеке, в каждом
but
проповеди
still there is
можно
a soul,
пробудить добродетель.
and the kind
У каждого есть мать.
attitude can be awakened into everyone.
Это путеводная нить в огне страсти.
When you're under the mode of passion,
Бандиты
you still
имеют этот сентимент.
can have this sentimental
Христос пошел дальше.
feeling in you.
Пробудил сентимент
And
в неверующих людях.
Jesus Christ, he was
И даже грешники плачут.
appealing to the sentimental mood of those
Даже грешники.
who've been
Друг всех живых существ, говорится. Вот каких живых существ?
dealing with them.
Таких греховных, таких падших. Друг? Всем друг? Конечно, это
A friend to everyone. This is the level of the Jesus Christ, or Vasudev Dutt, or Haridas Thakur.
Невероятные духовные.
Amazing height,
Очень высоко. О, у меня без микроскоп, без телескопа.
very high.
Телескоп.
You can't
Он
even
дает этот
see
телескоп
them,
здесь.
and Prabhupada is
Srimad
giving
Bhagavatam
us
дает,
this
увеличивает,
binocular.
приближает наше внимание туда, вот к этой части,
He's
которую мы не замечаем.
concentrating our
Душу мы не
vision
замечаем, нам нужно увеличить,
on the soul
пересечь это пространство материальное
with help
при помощи йоги.
of yoga. We can
Бхакти-йога, не
cross
сходя с места,
over
это нужно делать.
this space and
Не
distance.
перемещаясь
Bhakti
физически.
yoga, when you engage in it,
замирают
you don't really need to
долгое время.
do
Они
these
просто это, они останавливаются,
long
это
walkings
время дети.
to get through the distance.
Любая материальная
immediately
деятельность — это
there.
движение.
Any material activities is
Куда?
a movement.
С духовной точки
Movement
зрения, куда
where?
человек двигается, он уходит от Бога.
From spiritual perspective,
Что бы
where
ни делал,
does
что бы
this
он ни делал,
personality
какие бы
moves?
вещи не совершалось,
Whatever
он не
he does,
совершает,
whatever he's
дистанция увеличивается.
he
Он уходит. Это движение души.
he's moving
Он
as a
сам
soul.
создает себе свой мир в мире Бога,
He's
называет его
towards
своими
God,
названиями, заполняет своими
and he's
потомками.
building that world that he makes inside of the God's world with his own
Организовывает
samskaras
свои
and his
общества,
own
и
relatives
дальше, и
and
дальше, и дальше, и
his
дальше.
own societies and
Сначала он
stuff,
благодарит Бога за
etc.
все, что есть.
At first,
На
he's
расстоянии уже на
grateful to the Lord at the distance.
Все исполнители желаний там очень хорошо.
You're a
Спасибо
wish
тебе,
maker.
что
Thank
ты
you so
исполняешь мои
much.
желания, даешь
You're
мне
making
всё.
my wishes come true.
Потом
You're a
думает, ты не знаешь,
provider.
что ты
You're giving me
благодаришь
everything.
за
And with the
всё.
time, it's like, I don't know what I'm
Начинаю
thanking
думать,
you
полезнее
for.
поклоняться все-таки сильным
Probably it's better
явно я
to
что-то получаю.
Worship
С ними сотрудничая.
those
с ними.
who are in
Бог.
power in this world.
Удивительная концепция.
And the Lord is just some concept
Его вера уходит все дальше, дальше,
on the
дальше.
mental platform.
Затем,
and
когда
his
он начинает обманывать даже
faith is
вышестоящих,
going
он будет это делать,
Further and further away.
видя их корысти свои.
And with the time, he's
Почему служит этим людям?
starting to criticize those who's serving to
вором.
those in power,
Менталитет вора.
because he starts to see
И
that
прибегая
they're
все больше и больше к хитрости,
of the
он
material
прибегает к
gain
магии,
and they have these qualities that he wouldn't like.
начинает поклоняться привидениям.
And with the time, he's just worshiping the ghosts and spirits.
Ну, а
This is the
затем он решает
degradation. And with the time, he's just losing his mind,
такому существу.
becoming similar and identical to the ghosts.
И он всю жизнь с этой мыслью проживает.
And he's just living with one single thought in his mind: where should I get my money?
Где работа? Где
My
работа?
wife left
Где
me.
счастье?
Where's
Где
my
счастье?
job?
Где счастье?
Where is happiness?
Ничего.
Nothing
Нет
that
ответа,
he
ничего.
can see.
Вопроса даже не может задать.
He can't even ask the question.
Просто думает об этом. Где?
Just
Где?
thinking,
Где?
where is all mine?
Бездумно. Привет.
Without even a single thought in his mind, just like
Как будто он
ghost.
лишен тела человеческого.
as if he's
Дано
abandoned
тело человеческое с разумом.
by his body.
Читать
has no
Священное
body.
Писание, найти общение более высокое.
But
Принцип
he needs to
духовного
find
развития — это
this
найти общение
association
более высокое. Если я на каком-то
that
духовном уровне
elevates him.
нахожусь, Должен общаться, медитировать.
If I'm on a certain level, I need to meditate on those who are higher than me.
Это возможно только при наличии
It is
смирения.
only possible if I'm humble enough to appreciate what they're telling me, and if I follow in it and fulfill their instructions. If I don't see anyone higher than me, I cannot develop. People always want to develop themselves, but how are you going to touch your heart by yourself? How are you going to awaken your heart? How are you going to do it on your own? Your heart is always about relationship. How do we touch the heart without relationship? Those devotees who are higher, they are not making this heart kind relationship immediately with them. Good relationship. They are making this pause. Those gurus and those devotees, they are not giving us love for God immediately. At first, they are giving us the instructions and rules, prescribed duties, and because it's not cheap. It's not the trash that you see on the sides of the road. It should be put in your heart directly, and you need to prepare your heart to receive it. These instructions are there for it. And when a disciple follows this sincerely, then the sadhu sees the sincere intentions. He knows his heart is being softened. And that's the reason of the benedictions. If the heart is not softened, then you can really get any benediction. If someone is engaged in a lot of labor, and at the same time he's competing with others, and he can't get any benedictions. Even if the sadhu wants to send his blessings to him, he can't be a receiver. So you need to really the sadhu needs to feel in an appropriate position to give you blessings. So you need to develop these qualities. The qualities you get only from the personality, not from the book. Narada Muni is giving this to Dhruva Maharaj. He's saying there are three options for you to be successful: by serving, by helping to the youngest, and by being a friend to equal ones, and by serving those who are higher than you. If you have compassion to the youngsters and you have your friend to equals, even though you make a mistake or whatever, you still feel kind and friendly, and you serve the seniors. That's what Narada Muni's recipe. And we need to know who is equal, who is lower, who is higher than us. That's the science of the spiritual world. The oldest one, the most is the Lord. He's the oldest, but he's ever young and fresh. The wisest one. And we are serving to the senior. because he knows the wisdom, the science of God. In the material world, this is how we need to understand it. In the spiritual world, there would be a different understanding. It would depend on where the living entity is, whether he is in Brahman or Vaikuntha Lok or Siddha Lok, or on Galok in some region. There he might be felt differently. Even on Vaikuntha Lok, the residents of that lok have different attitude. In the Yadu dynasty, those who were close to the Lord, the Yadu Vamsha, victorious, they were connected by the Lord. They said that if there were no you, we would all be like strangers to each other. You've made it a strong Vamsha. You connected all of us. Because even those who had some arguments with others, they were still connected by Lord Krishna. So there could be different attitudes, different relationships. And you should never think that the living being is always, should always just nod their heads and always agree. No, it would have some ego. It's just like Jesus Christ said, the Father said to his son, no, you got to do this, and he said no. He was rebellious. He said no, and the Father said, well, whatever, you can do whatever. And the son thought, and he did it. And the other son, he was told by his father, do this, and he said, yes, I will do. But that one didn't do anything. So who really fulfilled the desire of the father? The one who was rebellious, or the one who said yes but never did? The Lord is hard to understand. Even your own soul is hard to understand. You think that there is some kind of a schedule for Leelas of the Lord? Yes, in some sort. But when you are there, you can't make any plans, really. You're being streamed, and you don't even know what you're going to do. You might do so many things that you would think, oh my God, what am I doing? But because Krishna is there, he's saying that's okay. Just like it was with the Pandavas. And they were saying, Arjuna was saying like, oh my God, I killed Karna. And he had no weapons even. And Krishna was saying, it's okay. How did we kill Bhishma? It was not right. And Bhishma was saying it was the Lord's plan from the very beginning. How did we kill Duryodhana? We went against all the prescriptions, and the Lord was saying it's okay. And when when a devotee is making a mistake, Krishna is saying, I will protect you from everything. You shouldn't think that it's spiritual world is about always agreement, like you always agree to the Lord's will. No, but you always love Him. So you should not think that those who agree, they are pure devotees. I know so many devotees who were rebellious, not following and ISKCON was pushing them and trying to suppress them, but now they are good leaders. This way or another way, it depends not on a discipline, it depends on loyalty and devotion to the Lord. Sometimes a devotee has bad manners. You talk to him and you always feel uneasy. But he's always in the service. Have you seen ones like that? Almost every one of us. We don't like everything in ISKCON, but we still doing the service. We say, I don't like this and that, and still we serve. Because we are individual souls. This individuality is contaminated in the material world, but it exists. It's imperfect in the material world. There is no reason for, if it's imperfect, there is no reason to suppress it. We study each other. Krishna gathered us here so we could study each other. But when we are starting to touch the hearts of everyone, then Krishna is giving us the intelligence. And he's saying, you can ask for whatever you want. This is how important to associate with the devotees. It's a great science. Please do not separate the association with the devotees from the God's association. Tad vidhi pranipatana, it doesn't say that it's only Diksha who knows. Guru also knows. It's a principle. So we need to study each other through the years of service till the end. We need to see that devotees are sadhus. All of them are saints. The beginners, those who have failures, they're still sadhus. If they're sincere, they're laying in that category. Those who are not sincere, they will leave. You don't really need to push them away. Those who are not sincere, they will go away. For some time, a person might go away, then he would come back. You would say, he was not a devotee, so he left. And then in a few years, he comes back and he's saying, here I am, back. And how would you feel in that case? The other person's soul is something we don't know. So it is very important to have kind mood for those you deal with. Since the sons of King Prachinabharhisat were all united in Krishna consciousness, the Lord was very pleased with them. Each and every one of the sons of King Prachinabharhisat was an individual soul, but they were united in offering transcendental service to the Lord. See, Prabhupada is saying, but we might showcase our individual characteristics, and there's cooperation. The Pracheta's cooperation had no motives. They would serve the Lord without any expectations. I don't need anything from you, you don't need anything from me. We have no expectations from others. That's how we need to live. That's pretty much like sannyas. It's a long process that starts with being humble and But with the time we're living in this
Когда мы ничего
world,
не делаем, понятно, что мы ничего
with
не
no
ожидаем.
expectations from
Но даже в
anyone
этом
in this
случае
world.
ожидаем, правда же? Дети ожидают все равно. Ничего не делая, ожидают, что родители все
The
сделают.
kids are waiting for their parents
Нам
to
нужно вырасти из
do
этого
something for
состояния.
them.
Итак, когда мы активно действуем, это труднее
But when we are
становится, не ожидать ничего. Не
actively,
А как же это?
when we are
делать? Как это
active in this world, we
предлагать Кришне?
tend to expect,
Кришна и сердце отвечает, принимает это.
and you can offer it to
Он
Krishna.
необычно принимает.
Krishna is in every living
Принимать
being's
в духовном
heart.
смысле означает не
He's
отбирать,
accepting,
не присваивать, а распространять. Преданный все, что принимает, распространяет.
the devotee
Кришна все, что принимает, тут же распространяет. Ему ничего не нужно.
and the Lord,
Так он поддерживает
everything
все
he
живые
is
существа.
being offered to.
Принимая
He's
почтение,
spreading.
поклонение,
That's
там,
what you
обрядовую
do.
деятельность,
You need to
аскезы,
spread.
покаяние, там, не знаю, все, что люди делают, все живые существа. Даже если они делают это не для
Whatever
Бога, они все равно делают
austerities people are doing,
невольно
people are
это
going
делают
through,
для Бога, неосознанно для Бога.
even though they do it
Он это
unconsciously,
использует
all
для
the
блага всех живых
austerities,
существ.
the Lord accepts and He's spreading it
Если вы даже насекомое, говорится, кору грызете,
to all the living.
вы грызете-то для
Beings.
Кришны, просто не знаете об этом.
Even if you're a bug
Он прогрызает свой путь к Богу.
eating your way
Мы его
through
проедаем
this
просадом, он прогрызает.
skin of the tree,
Мы немножко знаем, что
this is
это.
your
Он,
service.
конечно, ничего не знает, но
He
Кришна
might
его
do it
сердце
unconsciously,
знает, куда
but
он
the
грызет,
Lord
сколько ему
knows
грызть надо.
where He eats
Эволюция.
that skin, in
Он
what
поднимается
direction.
выше, 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 Господь
That's
ведет его.
evolution, and the Lord
Он
is
не
leading
знает даже
him.
ничего. Просто грызет.
He doesn't know anything, he's just
Ест,
eating
выкупляется, обороняется,
He
тоже,
eats,
там,
he
как животное,
mates,
но куда он идет? Он идет
and
к
sleeps,
Богу тоже,
and
в
fights.
человеческую форму жизни.
but he's going towards the human form of life.
Удивительно устроен мир.
That's the miracle of life.
Итак, это служение Господу, оно
So this
объединяет
service
всех.
to the
Видите,
Lord
ну,
is
в материальном мире оно может быть в
combining
невежестве. Но в любом случае,
everyone.
Господь, когда принимает, Он тут же награждает.
The
Это
Lord,
одно
when
и то
He's
же
offering something, He's
на трансцендентном
that's
уровне.
His immediately
Это
He
так же, как отдать
is
пищу желудку,
giving His
означает
blessings.
удовлетворить все
It's
тело.
just like giving something to your
То же
stomach.
самое. Разницы нет.
Immediately, you give blessings to the whole
Единство
body.
индивидуальных душ,
The unity of the individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity.
осознанное единство,
In the material world,
подлинное единство. В
this is a
материальном мире
conscious
такого
unity.
единства не
In the material
существует.
world,
Даже
such
если
unity
люди
is not
формально
possible.
объединяются для
Even though
чего-то,
people may
каждый из них
officially
преследует
unite,
свои
they
цели.
all have different
Так у
interests.
каждой страны,
In the United
входящей в
Nations,
Организацию Объединенных
For
Наций,
instance,
свои
all the
национальные
nations have their
амбиции.
particular national
Поэтому между ними
ambitions,
нет и не может
and
быть единства.
consequently, they
В
cannot
материальном
be
мире
united.
индивидуальные души так
This
разобщены,
unity
что даже
between individual
в обществе
souls is so
сознания Кришны
strong within this material world that
порой
even
нет
in this
единства.
society of Krishna
Из-за того,
consciousness,
что его
members
члены
sometimes
расходятся во мнениях,
appear disunited due to their having
начинают
different
преследовать материальные цели.
opinions and living towards
По
material
сути дела, в
things.
обществе сознания Кришны
Actually,
не
in
может
Krishna
быть двух
consciousness,
мнений. У
there
всех у
can
нас
be
одна
two,
цель — отдавать
cannot
все
be
силы
two
служению Кришне.
opinions. There is only one goal, to serve
Если в
Krishna
процессе
to
служения у нас
one's best
возникают
ability.
какие-то
If there is some
разногласия, их
disagreement
следует
over service,
духовными.
such disagreements is to be
Вот такой
taken
сильный
as
комментарий
spiritual.
описываете.
This is
Вся
strong.
философия в этом, в практике.
All the philosophy is pretty
Практическая философия.
practical.
Учим шастры, мы видим, что
When we study Shastras, we see that
если вы любому мошеннику скажете, что
you say something to any
он
rascal,
согласится,
you tell him
даже мошенник,
you
скажет, да,
need
да.
to live
Просто мы не можем в этом мире честно жить,
the right,
потому что все нечестно.
the righteous way, and he would say yes,
Но в
but we
сердце человек
cannot live.
согласится, он говорит, да,
In his heart, he will accept it,
но где эта честность?
but then he would
Мы-то
say, like,
согласны, нас
where's
так и учили с
this
детства.
honesty and
Отец и мать, может быть.
how
Или
can we
священные
live it
книги
this
говорили,
way?
мы знаем,
We've been taught by our mother and
это
father
честность?
in childhood that
вот
this
это
is
проблема.
the way we need to
Мы не можем
live,
честно выжить в этом мире.
but we cannot be honest in this world.
Вот такая ситуация.
That's the situation.
Если в процессе служения у нас возникают какие-то разногласия,
If we have some
их следует считать
agreements
духовными
If there is some disagreement over service, such disagreements is to be taken as spiritual. Disagreements are usually being found among the equal devotees. For example, the planes can be crashed into each other on the same height. If you see someone who is in conflict or in argument with another, it means they're on the same level. And if someone who is senior and he's in conflict with the youngster, it means the one who'd been higher, he went down on the level of youngster. Because senior, usually he's fixing the solution on the other level. So if there is a conflict between the devotees, you need to understand there is a Krishna between them. He's there to teach both sides. And it's really aching, this conflict is, they're blaming each other, they hate each other, with the time they see nothing good in each other. But when we talk about devotees, the devotees start to understand that all the ages have been passed, all the limits been passed, and they start to feel bad because they're losing Krishna. And they start to listen to the instructions. And the instructions are saying, Prabhupada saying that you need to cooperate. Not being suppressed, not try to suppress someone, but cooperate. For a long time we thought Prabhupada meant that everyone needs to work under GBC. But with the time, after the conflict with that devotee, we understood that Prabhupada said, work with GBC, cooperate. There was just one word that we've been mistaken. And with the time, we understand when we are in the service for a long time and we are leaders, we think that people should be suppressed or they should follow us, but like one devotee was hit by one of the senior sannyasis, disciples of Srila Prabhupada. He didn't want to wake up for Mangal Arati. And Prabhupada was invited because that devotee was going to sue the guy. And there was a freshman, and Prabhupada said, there is no need to wake up anyone for Mangal Arati, you just need to do it yourself. You need to make this atmosphere so everyone else would wake up. Of course, there should be some order, but you need to be doing things that everyone wants to go to this Mangal Arati. If he doesn't want, then you need to preach him, or he should not live in the temple. That's what you need. You need to fix it with the preaching. He was not judging anyone. He just said, this is the thing you need to do, and these are the things you should avoid doing. And it requires some time. With the danda, of course, if you hit someone with danda, he will be awakened immediately, but he will leave. And without the danda, you need to preach for a long time. That's what we think. It means we don't have the spiritual power in us. If we preach someone and give him instructions and he's not listening to us for several times, we need to stop doing that and get some more spiritual power. We need to stop, avoid this destruction, and we need to get some more understanding. Prabhupada In the Western world, he could love people so much that he would awaken their spirit. The devotees knew how Prabhupada was thinking about these European languages and cultures. He was saying that there is so much glamour in the French language, and German sounds like the barking of the dog.
And
we even started to argue between each other, saying that Prabhupada could not say it like that. But Mataji Mandakini was there, and we asked her, and she said, yes, yes, but he loved those devotees he'd been talking to. He loved those people. He was making fun. Hridayananda Maharaj, he was remembering Prabhupada. He said, I got sannyas from Prabhupada, and he was my guru, and he was my example, and I was attached to him very closely. I was learning from him, but now I remember that time Prabhupada was always making fun of me. He was not angry with me, he was just humorous with me. And we were inspired all the time because of that. And, there were no conflicts. Even though he might be, at some moment he might be angry for a second, it will go away immediately when we are fixed. Such a strong spiritual power that Prabhupada had. Krishna is never in conflict. He's like, if we don't like the Krishna consciousness, he will find some other place for us. There's so many places we can go. For everyone there is a place. Every living entity has its own corner. He's the richest person. He's reciprocating our desires. We might think it's a punishment, but Krishna, by himself, is doing it. He's not doing this. His energies might punish. Because even the punishment done by Krishna is auspicious. Krishna is all auspicious. But punishment without Krishna is not auspicious at all. The punishment of Krishna is when you have an instruction. It's enlightenment. It's so auspicious. It's goodness. Someone said, Swamiji, Prabhupada, I am not against, I don't mind to be a dog. What's the deal? And Prabhupada said, you have my benedictions.
No problem.
No problem. There are so many dogs. You can join those groups. Someone likes it. Someone likes to be a dog. So Krishna himself, he is not an enemy of the jiva, or the representative of the punishment system. We are appealing not to his punishment powers or his universal form. Arjuna said, I want to see your two-handed form, because you're Sukhridam, you're my friend, and we need to learn how to become friends. Sukhridam, what it is? Sukhridam means, Krishna is saying, you can ask for whatever you want. I will grant all your wishes. Whatever you want to make for Krishna, He will provide you with whatever you need. Once I've asked a devotee, a disciple of Prabhupada, and he's, how can I make this project going? I need so much. And he said, we need to be sincere, and Krishna will give you this opportunity. That's easy. So if we're really sincere, Krishna will give it to us. On a material level, it will depend on karma, on destiny. If you're... Otherwise, you'll be a failure. There is a law. But if you serve Krishna, there is no karma law available for you, because we're not making it for ourselves. Karma is dealing with everything we make for ourselves. But when I want to serve Krishna without any motives, expectations for gain, everything's changing in my life. My karma is not allowing me to have a house, but I'm building a temple, and then I live there, attended Mangal Arati. I still have no house, but I have the roof. I live in a temple, so I'm kind of avoiding, escaping my destiny. Some people might have no children because of their karma, but if you become a spiritual master, you get in so many children. Prabhupada was saying, when I accepted sannyas, I took the sannyas and I thought I lost everything. My friends, my family, my children, my material life is over. But then he said, now I see that Krishna gave me so many spiritual children, much better than the ones I had. So there is no karma. Even good karma goes away, not only bad one. You need to wait for some time and it will go away. There is a good weather. No, just hold on. And now there's a bad weather. There is a bad weather. No, hold on. It will go away. Madras Pashastu Kauntaya. The seasons are changing, our life is changing. The same way, the happiness and distress takes the place of each other. We can live under the rules of spiritual world here. Those who are actually engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be disunited in any circumstance. Make sure you are not disunited. This makes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very happy and willing to award all kinds of benedictions to His devotees, as indicated in this verse. We can see that the Lord is immediately prepared to award all benedictions to the sons of King Prachinabarkishat. And the next verse is of same importance. The Lord continued, those who remember you every evening of every day will become friendly with their brothers and with all other living entities. We can say we're not prachetas, right? 100% we're not. But prachetas can be friends like that. They can be very close friends. And Krishna is saying about other living entities. He said that everyone will have the same benediction if he would just remember you. If someone satisfies the Lord, it means every living entity gets this benediction. In fact, we can see this. The world is changing. There are a few of us comparing to the whole world, but the world is changing. No one could change the path of the civilization before Prabhupada. It was doomed. No one could really say something against this false religion or politics or something like that. They would end up in prison, or if you talk about the nuclear weapon. The world is changing, it's getting the good more and more. I can see it through a few decades. Not so much time has passed. At the same time, I see that it's impossible to change the character of nature. Material nature you cannot change. You can only engage it in the service of Krishna, but it stays the same. Everyone who has this material body stays the same, but because there is an influence of the devotees, preaching devotees, it is being changed. Those who help in them also changing it. Thanks to benediction of Krishna, we are into this mission impossible. We're just getting used to it with the time. We're getting used to prasadam, and because we're conditioned souls, everything we do, we think we get used to it. But in order not to have this conditioning, we need to go over. Even though I got this first and second initiation, I'm not perfect. I have my second initiation. Oh, I'm Brahman. I can relax. I have the prasadam and the deities, no problem. The initiation is just the beginning. We are beginners. This is required connection with the Sohridam, with the spiritual master. Deep connection. It is required in order to get bhakti. If we don't develop this deep relationship, how do we really develop it with the spiritual master? If he is far away, and he's not even getting to come. He has his own business. He doesn't even remember me after many years. After my initiation, he might not even remember me. This is material. But relationship with the spiritual master is spiritual. I don't even tend to see my spiritual master very often. But I'm very regularly seeing him in Mayapur, of course. It's not like I've been serving him personally. I don't even have the language or qualification to serve him in this condition. I wouldn't be able to see his schedule that he sleeps only 2 hours a day. I wouldn't be able to stand that service that should be provided to my spiritual master. How do I keep the connection with him? I need it. Without my connection with Diksha Guru, I'm nobody. I told him that Guru Maharaj, a person with no guru, he's nobody. He's zero, shunya. That's his position. That's why I'm looking for your association. And I want to serve Krishna. I had several meetings, but I felt his heart. This is what in my heart
Как же к этому
also
не привыкнуть? Надо служить.
how to be
Надо просто служить.
not to be conditioned.
Мой Гуру
I
Махарадж
need
служит
to
круглые
continue
сутки.
serving. My Guru Maharaj is
Она по
serving
ночам кричит
24/7.
Гауранга, Гауранга.
He screams Gauranga when he's
И когда он говорит
sleeping.
о Прабхупаде, у него
When
слезы
he
льются сразу же.
speaks about Prabhupada, he has tears in his
Прабхупада
eyes.
давно нет уже физически в этом мире. Мой Гуру Махарадж говорит о нем, плачет.
Has long gone from this world physically, but
Не только
he
он.
talks about Prabhupada and he's crying.
Индрарджуна Махарадж рассказывал про Брамананду Свами.
And not only him, Indradyumna Maharaj was talking about Brahmananda Swami.
Это один
He
из первых
passed away
учеников Прабхупады. И
already.
все, кто
He's
с ним
one of the first
был очень
disciples
близко с Прабхупадой, очень
Prabhupada. He got his sannyas and he was the closest one to Prabhupada from the very
И вот когда
beginning.
уже Прабхупада ушел,
And when
приехал в храм,
Prabhupada left, he came to the
Индрарджуна
temple,
Свами
and Indradyumna Swami was there.
И Брамананда Свами спросил,
And Brahmananda Swami, he asked
о чем мне говорить на Бхагаватам, скажи?
Indradyumna
Твой
Swami,
храм,
what should I
твое
speak
управление.
on the Bhagavatam?
Что сказать? Ну как? Ну ты самый близкий ученик Прабхупады.
And
говори Прабхупаде.
Indradyumna Maharaj said,
Мы ждем.
you are the
сказать.
closest to Srila Prabhupada. That's
Брамананда
what we
Свами пришел на
expect.
лекцию.
You need to talk about Prabhupada.
Сел,
And Brahmananda
сел,
Swami, he came to
Он начал
give the
говорить.
class, Bhagavatam
сказал,
class, and he started to
Шрила
say,
Прабхупада.
Srila Prabhupada,
Потом замер.
and then he paused and started to cry.
Он пытался это удержать, не смог и ушел в
He
комнату, больше вместе
He
не
was trying to hold it,
Все лекции закончились.
and he couldn't, and he had to
Потом
leave the
ушел
room,
Прабхупада.
and
Все были по сильно
that was
впечатлены.
the end of the class. Everyone was so much
А
impressed
как это
by it.
поддерживается, скажите? Ну, все же люди забывают рано или поздно.
How
эти
do you
вещи.
keep that level?
Время идет, в конце концов, уже новые отношения
With the
складываются.
time you
с кем-то,
get
жизнь идет дальше.
conditioned
дальше.
and you have new relationship with someone, association.
Если даже
life
ребенок умер,
goes
другой
on.
ребенок есть, как
When your child
переключаешься,
is-
да, даже если тяжелый
When your
случай.
child dies, you have new one, and you
Здесь
switch your
происходит
attention
так,
to
через
another one.
преданное служение.
But through devotional service, you still keep that
Отношения
focus.
вечные, говорится.
Your relationship is eternal while you're
Никогда
serving
не забудете.
Krishna. You will never forget your acharyas.
Вы никогда не отвергнете своих
You will
ачарьев, не
never
забудете своих ачарьев.
Reject your acharyas or forget them.
Когда Нарисимхадев убил
When Nrisimhadev
Хирanyакашипу
killed Hiranyakashipu,
и вышел на арену Прохлад Махарадж,
and Prahlad Maharaj
этот
came
безмятежный,
out,
чистый, преданный,
this pure devotee, shining one,
то Нарисимхадев
Nrisimhadev
сказал ему просить, чего хочешь.
said, you can ask whatever you want from
Но
me.
он просил об отце, говорит, об отце не проси.
And he was asking about father, and he said, no, you don't need to ask
Естественно,
about
что
your
он должен, он такой
father's
отец.
destiny. He's a liberated one because
Что ж ты
he's your
попросишь?
father. What are you
Для
gonna
себя
ask
что-то.
for yourself?
Прохлад Махарадж сказал,
Prahlad said,
дай мне благословение.
please give me a benediction.
Всегда помнить моего гуру,
Always to remember my guru,
Нарада Муни,
Narada Muni,
который дал мне
that gave me the Krishna consciousness, and he awakened love for God in me. I don't want anything else. That's Krishna. He loves it.
Когда мы любим друг друга,
When we love each
добры ко
other,
всем,
when we're kind to
несем
each other,
духовные знания,
when we're
терпим
preaching
неудачи свои, продолжая прославлять
and
Кришну, даже когда нам
we are, in spite of our failures, we continue.
Все, кто настроен на служение, это очень удачливые
Everyone
души.
who is focused on the
Настроены
service,
саданой, общением с садху, из книг Прабхупады,
they're really sincere.
чтобы нам не забыть.
We need
эти
to
вещи.
keep the
Пока мы
association with the
условно
sadhus.
души, нам нужно прилагать такие усилия.
While we are conditioned souls, we need to make these
Итак,
actions.
Я осыплю благословениями всех, кто
Those who
утром и
remember
вечером
you
будет
every
обращаться ко
evening
мне
of every
с
day
молитвами,
will become friendly
вознесенными
with their
Господу.
brothers and with all other living
Это позволит
entities.
им осуществить все свои желания и вместе с тем обрести
Those
ясный разум. Тут идут благословения.
will have
Господи, все описывается.
this
Причина
enlightened
этого —
intelligence.
благодати.
And the reason of this luck is friendship.
Хорошо. Будут ли у нас вопросы сегодня? Так.
Are there any questions?
У меня трудная задача. Начнем по часовой стрелке. Так.
Okay, let's start from this way. Thank you for this nice class. What about this freedom in the spiritual world? I would like you to go deeper in this, because I've heard that in the spiritual world everyone is being guided. And this desire for freedom is more like a Mayavadi thing, who attempt to get liberation. I understand there should be some kind of balance. The freedom should be under guidance in the society.
Руководство.
The guidance, spiritual guidance, means bhav. For example, one wants to serve Krishna, but he has no taste. He heard the philosophy, but still has no taste so far. How can he be engaged in devotional service? There are some devotees in the world that preaching through the internet, they are not engaged or associated with ISKCON, but they just start to chant japa, but they have no service, and they will not start the service until they see the devotees. So, but when they see the devotees, they will get this bhav to start the devotional service. So, when you serve under the guidance of Manjari, it means they give you this inspiration, this bhav, and you just fly around providing service. Spiritual guidance means self-control. It's not control from the outside. This bhav that you get engages you in the self-control. When someone in the spiritual world is saying you need to make this for Krishna, the receiver is like in ecstasy, that I'm allowed to do this for Krishna. This is how grateful he is. This is a reward that has no match. Just like when Yashoda is asking him to wrap the Krishna's breakfast for him. The Yashoda is so merciful, so kind, that she is allowing everyone to serve Krishna. He's engaging everyone. You can't even dream of it. What are you going to do? You might go unconscious if you would think about it. This is spiritual guidance. How do you open heart to equals? You need to do it gradually, step by step. The life with no taste is only work, and it might get you dry, but bit by bit, with the devotees you need to have this relationship in a very conscious way. Bit by bit you make this relationship where you can open your heart. Not with everyone we do. We need to choose our friends carefully. It's interesting. Sometimes we don't choose the one, but he chooses you. And with the time you understand he's your real friend. At first, you wouldn't choose him because Maya, it puts some illusion on you. But with the time, if you want such a relationship, you will develop it. You will try it first with those you like, isn't it? And you will not do it with those you don't like. But we don't know who is going to be our friend. Krishna knows. What is the difference between the friendship and to be too close to each other? Familiarity. Well, it's close. It starts with the Sakya Ras. The Dasya Ras wouldn't allow it. In Sakya Ras, it's allowed. Arjuna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I was calling you, Krishna, dear Krishna, I was calling you Yadava, my friend, or I would tell you were too honest when you were saying something. That was familiarity is very close to a friendship, but what we need to pay attention to, that we should not get into this material relationship, that we see no value in each other. So that's why in friendship rasa we need to have some dasya rasa. Still, we need to continue to be servants. When dasya is enriching, with Sakya, it becomes Vatsalya. Dasya, Sakya, and Vatsalya becomes Madhurya. Madhurya has all the rasas. In the material world, they get to the level of Madhurya, and it has no other rasas. No, it will not make you happy. You need to learn how to become servants to each other, then to love like friends do, then to take care like parents do, and then, only then, you can be in Madhurya Rasa. So first, you get in the service, and then friendship, and then love, and then this taking care of. In the Western world, it's not like this. People are falling in love, and that's all they do. And then we understand what the outcome of it may be.
Ну, отжаться, там раз 50, не знаю, как ты. Придумай что-нибудь. Ну, можно сказать так, что если вы чувствуете какое-то напряжение с кем-то и уже вот-вот думаете...
If you feel like you have some tension
накапливается у вас
with someone,
основания для этого, можете прям по пунктам расписать.
And you have all reasons for it, and you can even put it on the paper and write down your thoughts, and the other side might do the same. I would suggest, in this case, to read Srila Prabhupada's books for an hour and a half.
If
there is a conflict in your heart already, it might not be enough. You will need to keep it, hold on to any actions and just tolerate it, even for many years. There is an example of an elephant that is in a Chinese store.
вертикальные.
China store,
Витрины, а вертикальные такие горшки, знаете.
China stores, the China stores in India
Вот так столбиками.
has the piles of China
одну штуку там.
piled up one on top of another. If you make one wrong step, you'll break everything. For Hindus, it's fine. They will not break it because they're fine with it, but they're careful. But in the Western world, they will not do it like this.
Вот так выстраивают. Заходите, смотрите, пожалуйста.
They're
Если вы
too rajas.
вы очень удивитесь в Индии. Как они так рискуют вообще? Нет, никакого.
In India, they see no risk in that.
Он же управляем, у него уже разум есть.
Because everyone is intelligent. But if an elephant
сюда не надо, тут все, я тогда
comes, then no, keep him away.
И вот не запускайте слона.
I will be bankrupt immediately.
Общение с
So don't let an elephant get into your relationship.
Любую боль, которую вы доставляете, запоминается.
Any pain you given to someone, it stays there in the people's heart. Be careful, be attentive. We in Kali Yuga, we're usually being taught that you need to be brave when there is a conflict. Don't be brave. Go and tell him. Answer him. You can tolerate it. If you're a man, you need to have intelligence. So they put it upside down, the materialists. There is a solution for every conflict. You need to have this intelligence, this deep knowledge. By preaching, by offering this knowledge, you can even talk indirectly to him. You just talk about it. Not to get more followers than the other one has, but you just talk it to tell it to Krishna and about Krishna, and whatever you say in this manner, devotees will hear it. Sooner or later, he will hear it with his heart. So it was forbidden at a certain time by GBC to use asana for your own politics, to oppose some opinions. There is Bhagavatam, that's what you need to talk about. Don't mix your politics with Srimad Bhagavatam. The politics should be there. There are some rules, of course, and there is war ethics. We should know it also. Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam, and this management is management, and the family life is also there. We need to know all of it, and it can be connected only by spiritual, only Supreme Personality of Godhead. He connects it into one system. At first, who do we start developing our connection with? We get the Sambandha Gyan, we have the connection with the Supreme Lord, and then we understand that all the living entities are his particles.
Не сначала. Это говорят люди, которые уже знают о Кришне. Это преданные говорят, верно же? Да? Но они уже о Боге что-то знают. Тогда можно согласиться.
The devotees, they usually talk about marriage or some relationship with the close ones, because they already know about Krishna.
Знаете, была одна крайность.
There is a tendency to speak about certain things. There was one tendency not to deal with the family and just to preach about the Lord directly, and now there is another tendency, we need to start with the relatives and then eventually get to the speaking about the Lord. No, it's all right, it's all wrong. We're not following this. We should be in the golden middle. Our life should be regulated. You know, to get out of the conflict, do I use my heart or intelligence? You need to apply your intelligence and devotion that we have, because we do it for Krishna. We can't really solve it for ourselves or for the offender's sake. It will be material. We need Krishna consciousness, because we cannot accept the offender into our heart. We cannot embrace him. It's closed. Our heart is closed. So we do it for Krishna. Frankly speaking, in this world, the Bhagavatam says, we are not tend to be friends with all the living entities in this world. It's just the position of Madhyam. We can be neutral. We should be neutral, and it's fine. We are kind. We are neutrally kind. We don't touch each other. Just like two sannyasis, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they were having different opinions on one topic, and they couldn't find the solution, and they went to Srila Prabhupada and they shared this with him, and he said, oh, you should not be together. One should be preaching in one side, in one part of the world, and another one should be preaching in another part of the world. And they're neutral. There should be friendship among devotees. You are very lucky if you have devotees and Krishna-conscious friends. It's not always like that. What should I do if there are two sides, equal relationship, but one side is more neutral and the other one is trying to have the association? You need to find this distance, the distance of peace. It's like a pandemic here in Kazakhstan. In the culture of Kazakhs, to hug each other when I meet everyone, and now you need to be neutral, but they immediately do it and everybody is sick. And they said, we need to forget our Kazakh culture for this time being. We are the same. Devotees are always hugging each other. No, we need to be neutral first. This is our start. Kind and neutral. And we think about others kindly, nicely. That would be really useful. One devotee, he was thinking and criticizing, but still engaged in the service. And in his mind, there's lots of critics. And his spiritual master, Gopal Krishna Goswami, came. And once he saw that devotee, he said, your service is nice, but what's going on in your mind is not so good. You need to think properly, nicely.
Не буду. Потому что что-то есть, надо попробовать.
No, I refuse to do it. But you need to try it. Ardaya Dham is making it differently. He's like, close your eyes and wish happiness to everyone. But don't open your eyes. It's harder for the women to fulfill it. There's another mark point for men. Women are harder to follow these instructions when they're criticizing or nervous. Don't blame them too hard. Think about them as they are children. It's painful, that's why he's screaming. It's good, that's why he's laughing immediately. So they are not to be blamed because of this. We need to make that side good. The other side is improving automatically. How do I get rid of this duality, good and bad, and etc., etc.? You need to develop your love for Krishna. Did you say Krishna you love him? You did? Okay, then now develop it. You can study the philosophy. Everyone needs it. We are not women or men. We are all Vaishnavas. So don't escape the philosophy and read the Prabhupada's books. Read Prabhupada's books whenever you can. Just like Yamuna, she has a big memoirs book. And Mataji Vishakha wrote her book. Amazing. She's wife of Yadubar Prabhu. The professional photographer. She wrote her book and she had some memories about this suppression of women. Yamuna was talking about it, and she was that no one ever published, and how kind Prabhupada was. And then I met Nagapatni Mataji, Prabhupada's disciple. She was in New Vrindavan, and she was telling that she was sweeping the floors, cleaning the floors in the house where Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan. And when Prabhupada was out for a morning walk, she would be in and clean everything and Prabhupada and leave. And Prabhupada, once suddenly he came back unexpectedly, and she was all there with her tools and everything. And she was in shock. She didn't know what to do, where to put the trash and what to do, and Prabhupada was staring at her, what she was doing. In the end, she sat down and started to cry because nothing worked. And Prabhupada got a flower of his garland
Взяла еще больше. «А-а-а!»
He gave it to her, and
Он
she
говорит,
started
«Это
to cry even
нехорошо,
more.
нет, это нельзя».
He said,
Как с детьми? Они чувствовали любовь.
"Isn't it good? It's just children. They feel the love."
Конечно, есть опасность, если у нас много вожделения, то эта любовь
Of course,
непонятно во что.
there's a danger if we have some
Всегда
lust,
есть такой риск.
then
Но в сердце
that
вы
would
должны иметь эту любовь.
that love would be
Стараться в сердце.
might become
Вы
something
даже не
else.
проявляете эти вещи, как Прабхупада. В сердце вы должны уважать.
But in our heart, we need to respect, even though we don't reveal our attitude sometimes, but we need to respect
У
those,
них незаменимая роль движения.
the women. They
Самую
have
большую работу делают женщины движения сейчас.
the most work in our society nowadays. They make all the hard work.
Руководят, сражаются.
The men, they are
А кто лечит
trying to
раненых, кто это
direct
все поддерживает.
and fight, and they healing them
Итак,
afterwards.
весь вред от мужчин только.
So the men are the
Ну, когда
wrongdoers.
они чистые преданные, это не так, конечно.
Of course, if they are pure devotees, unalloyed devotees, then it's not like that.
Так, теперь женщинам стало приятно, видите?
Okay, now this side feels better now,
Хотя они еще, может быть, ничего хорошего не сделали.
even
такого,
though
но
they
им приятно. Но они стараются.
you see everybody is trying.
Махарадж, благодарю вас за лекцию. Можно я сейчас, возвращаясь к теме о жертве пищи в отношениях, может быть, даже похвастаюсь и в то же время прославлю. Мне после ваших слов я осознала, что мне очень повезло в духовной жизни. У меня есть друг, подруга, сестра, мать. Как вы перечислили, все отношения, они вкупе, пребыванием Мангала Девидаси. Вам известны...
Listening to you, I realized that I have all sorts of relationship.
Я понимаю, что эти отношения начинались долго.
I have a mother and sister, and
Лет в духовной жизни.
I'm also a friend.
Я понимаю, что эти отношения, они строятся
And
не
this
сразу, что вы не
relationship
как вы их описываете. И вместе с тем, вот преданные
gives me the understanding how lucky I am that
в отношениях, они приходят, может быть, даже из отношений.
in this Krishna consciousness,
Таких друзей, вы советуете сохранять такое нейтральное отношение.
so you have instructions that we need to keep neutrality, neutral attitude. Mostly.
Нет. Любой преданный ваш друг.
No, any devotee is your friend,
В разной степени, конечно.
in
Это
more or
мы
less.
сейчас о степени не говорим.
We don't talk
Степень
about
как раз
that.
требует времени, углубления. в
It
понимание.
needs some time
Но
to
любой
grow
преданный ваш
deeper.
друг, кому вы
But any
сделали
devotee is your
хорошую
friend.
вещь, кому вы
Those who
послужили
you're
духовно, это вам
served
лучше. Искать
is
не
your
надо, надо
friend.
служить преданным.
There is no need to search for friends. You need to serve the
Друг
devotees,
проявляется.
and the friendship will be revealed
Через служение всё.
through the service.
Я еще был совсем молодым, до.
I was still very young, and before the Krishna, before Krishna consciousness, 7 years before Krishna consciousness,
Я попал в больницу.
I got into the hospital.
Был сепсис.
I had some sepsis,
А я лежал там с
and
температурой.
I had fever,
Сделали, я там где-то сутки
and
не
something.
просыпался вообще.
I was treated, and I
И
was
когда
sleeping
проснулся, я
for
чувствовал
like
себя в токсинах еще.
24 hours,
Никак.
still intoxicated
Это
when I
палата
woke up.
общая. И там тоже были разные люди. Один там был молодой парень такой же.
And
как я,
there
помню.
were some people in the same
Он ходил как
room.
здоровый уже, там смеялся.
He was
такой молодой.
one guy. He was walking,
Он увидел, что
looking
я глаза открыл.
healthy. He saw me opening
Он
my
такой
eyes,
смотрел, какой-то тут странный парень ходит. Я
and
никогда с таким человеком не познакомился.
I was staring at him,
Сразу оцениваешь,
thinking,
не мое.
he's pretty strange. I would never deal with
Трибуны другие. Я тогда не знал,
this
кто
type
он.
of personality.
Он сделал интересную вещь.
But he
Для
did
меня неожиданную.
an interesting thing for
Прямо
me.
сел ко мне на кровать. Я еще
Immediately he
просто
sat down next to me on my
решил
bed.
познакомиться. Прям уселся тут прямо ко мне на
And
кровать.
I was
И
like,
с огромной
what is
улыбкой
going on?
высыпал на меня горсть
And
конфет.
Smiling, he flooded me with the candies. And it touched my heart so much. Immediately I changed my attitude. Afterwards, we've been walking together, and so when you are share, when you give presents and accept presents, when you share the prasadam, accept the prasadam, that's what changes you. Friendship is not that you just criticize. I mean, you too close to be able to talk. It needs some time to be that close to someone. If you see someone doing like this, you need to stop him and remind him. In that case, you are guru for him. And if you are in that situation, that guy should stop and remind you about Krishna consciousness. This is friendship. This is honest friendship. If your friend is giving you a speech, then you think, oh, then probably you're not my friend. But it means you don't know how to be friends with people. You have no qualities. You will be left with no friends. Okay, we'll stop here.
Скажите, пожалуйста, вы сказали, не оставайтесь в подчинении или бунте. Скажите, пожалуйста, как почувствовать вот эту границу, когда начинается это раздвоение?
Это бездумное становится существование. Сказали, сделал, сказали, сделал, сказали, сделал. А суть сознание Кришны.
All you expect is just to get instructions, and then you can do. But that means you're thoughtless. When you're engaged in devotional service, you need to feel your heart is being purified. Otherwise, there would be just like an exploitation. So when you serve Krishna, you need to feel the purification. Prabhupada didn't want everyone just to be engaged in work, hard labor. It was like you need to read about Krishna and discuss about Krishna, and if you're just waiting for some instructions in Krishna consciousness, that would be very naive. Simplicity and in ignorance. The person is simple and he's saying okay, but that would be foolishness. But at the time, if he's doing it and he's not getting this spiritual progress and his faith grows, then it's wrong. That's why in India, ISKCON, it was falsely accused that they do not have bhakti, they only have outside work, those night facades. Instead of spiritual work, if you are engaged only in mundane work, then you become a bull. It's not enough. So there should not be thoughtless activity. Okay.